FIFA, IFAB, or whoever came up with this mad idea of a hydration break for this particular World Cup, we've seen you. We understand your game now. We are no longer interested. Please, let this thing not last outside of this World Cup. Please, you are ruining the game. You are spoiling the game of football for us. Please and please, to whom it may concern, we don't want hydration breaks again. Because how do you explain to somebody you are supposed to have your so-called hydration break at 22 minutes or 23 minutes, and as of 21 minutes it is raining heavily during the France and Iraq's game. It is raining and you are still stopping the game for hydration break. What sort of hydration do they need that is more than the one that is pouring on their heads from the skies? Let's be frank with ourselves now. During Qatar 2022, it was very evident why the competition was moved to December. We understand that one, and it was not an enforced rule that you must go on hydration break. Even if it was enforced, this one was that as they are doing their hydration break, we are seeing the players. It does not last more than a minute. Quickly drink your water and come back. Now you've enforced a 3-minute hydration break rule. Who are you kidding? Who are we kidding at this point? You simply, if you see, one thing I hate as a person is when somebody is trying to be smart. You want to be smart and then you want to be cunning, right? If you want to call it an advert break, a break like halftime that you used to go on advert and make money, call it that. Don't call it a hydration break and your main focus is on adverts, because that is what it is at this point. Because how else do you also explain that England and Ghana were playing a game of football? As of 20 minutes, Ayew and James had a clash of heads. Then that treatment on their heads lasted up to 22 minutes or 23 minutes. But instead of you to use that as the opportunity to go for the hydration break, you decided that no, they should wait and come back and play up to 27 minutes before you now go for the hydration break. Meanwhile, while they were treating them, these players were hydrating themselves. Who are we kidding now? Who are we kidding? As of the time that they go for this hydration breaks, that is when most of these games are finally entered into free flow. Then you break it again because your whole idea now is just money making. If it was the US that brought this idea to you people, we cannot stop it now. The World Cup is already ongoing. But I bet Mona no carry this nonsense enter inside league football. Mona no carry enter Champions League. You kill the game. You kill the game because when you start, you can't stop. You just keep adding more and more and more. Hydration breaks are good, but when it is necessary, rain cannot be falling and you're going on hydration break. Explain? How do you explain that? How do you explain such a phenomenon? If you want to call it an advert break, there's nothing we can do about it. You're the makers of the game. Our own no be to watch. Call it an advert break. Don't call it a hydration break. Who are you kidding? I beg. Mona no come make person dey vex. Prestianni Law states that if an opponent covers his mouth thus and says something to his opponent, he shall receive a red card. And Miguel Amiron of Paraguay became the first player to be given a red card due to this Prestianni Law. Prestianni Law came up from the player Prestianni of Benfica, who, when they played against Real Madrid, said something to Vinicius, which till today nobody can identify what was said, but they know that something was said, which was perhaps racial in nature, because we know it's Vinicius. Anybody where they follow Vinicius talk, you know, pass monkey or whatever. In other words, because they could not find out what Prestianni said from that day till today, they have made a law in his name called the Prestianni Law. So you cannot speak to an opposing player whilst closing your mouth. So when you go into exam and you see the question, what is Prestianni Law, you remember that soccer theatre taught you that. Let us banter a little. So far so good. A couple of goals, I'm not sure of the number, at least more than 100 goals have been scored so far in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Not one single Chelsea player has scored a goal. No be me talk am o. No be me talk am. As I take see am, that's why I take talk am. Chelsea. I noticed that these fans from the Middle East, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, I have not seen them putting on jalabiya. You know what jalabiya is? They are white, long gown-ish clothes. I've not seen the fans putting on jalabiya. I've seen them like they've been dressing normal. Does anybody have any idea as to why? I know that I'm the analyst here and I'm the one that's supposed to be telling you why. But let us do reverse rule for a minute. Does anybody know why the fans from the Middle East are not putting on their jalabiya during this World Cup? They are dressing like a normal people. Can anybody tell us why? Because I'm very, very sure that during the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup that was hosted in the Middle East, the fans were putting on their traditional jalabiya. That's what we call it here in Nigeria. I don't know what you know it as. Jalabiya, the white long stuff or whatever color. But so far so good. The fans that has been at this World Cup, we've not seen personally from the games that teams from Middle East have played. I've not seen anybody put that on. Can anybody tell us why? Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. The France versus Iraq game had a 1 hour 30 minutes delay because of weather. And this one now is not even those ones that, okay, they are afraid that the weather may get bad. The weather did get bad. There was serious thunder and lightning. The rain was very heavy. They had to stop the game. No two ways about it. You saw these things in the Club World Cup. You repeated it again. You failed to learn from history. You are doomed to repeat it. There's no two ways about it. It's not rocket science. How do I go from praising England's team performance as the best from the first round to nearly slipping off during England versus Ghana? Don't let another person corrupt you. You played very well against Croatia. And then even before this match against Ghana, I posted something. I said, hopefully, Ghana will not take that their sort of football that I cannot even classify and influence England. And that was exactly what happened. Why can it not be that it was going to be England that will influence Ghana to play better? Why? How do you explain fans sleeping during a match? How?